China succession wars, Wahaha Heiress battles half-siblings over billion-dollar fortune. A recent legal tussle involving a prominent Chinese beverage empire's heir apparent has captured headlines and sparked conversations about wealth succession in China. Kelly Zong, daughter of the late billionaire founder of Hangzhou Wahaha Group, has found herself embroiled in a complex web of legal challenges that could redefine how wealth is passed down in the country, potentially casting a shadow over one of China's most revered beverage conglomerates. Kelly, who was once the sole known offspring of her father and groomed as a successor during China's one-child policy era, is now facing dual legal battles that stem from unresolved issues left by her father. In a Hong Kong courtroom earlier this month, she was asked to establish 3 trusts valued at $2.1 billion for individuals claiming to be her half-brothers and sister, based on alleged directives from her father. This development has piqued interest and ignited discussions on Chinese social media platforms. In another separate legal dispute, Kelly, aged 43, is reportedly being sued by several former Wahaha employees seeking to invalidate a share buyback conducted in 2018. According to sources close to the matter who wish to remain anonymous due to the case's private nature, the employees argue that the repurchase price was unjustifiably low. This lawsuit has been covered by various local media outlets, including Caixin. In response, Wahaha's labor union stated that the share repurchase decision was made lawfully and with the consent of staff representatives, as announced in a September post on the social media platform Weibo. These legal entanglements have once again brought Wahaha's leadership and ownership structure under scrutiny, reminiscent of the corporate power struggles that ensued following the demise of founder Zong Qinghou. They also jeopardize Kelly's ongoing efforts to publicly list all or part of Wahaha, a pursuit that has faced setbacks in the past. The involvement of a Chinese state-owned entity, which holds a 46% stake in Wahaha, adds a governmental layer to the company's affairs. As a leading enterprise in Hangzhou, where it is headquartered, Wahaha's internal conflicts are closely watched. Kelly currently owns 29.4% of the company, while the group's staff union holds 24.6%, according to Kacharcher data. Marlene Dialman, a Singapore-based family business professor at IMD, cautions that the Wahaha saga serves as a crucial lesson for Chinese family business founders. She emphasizes that succession planning can rapidly escalate into a control battle, particularly when the founder's stake is relatively small. Since assuming the role of chairwoman last August, Kelly has overseen the closure of some of Wahaha's production facilities, resulting in job cuts as part of a broader business restructuring strategy, sources reveal. Kelly has faced accusations of attempting to transfer a series of Wahaha's trademarks and aspects of its water business to external entities, as detailed in a March letter addressed to both state-owned and individual shareholders of the company's water division, which Bloomberg News has reviewed. Wahaha defended the trademark transfers as lawful and affirmed that they did not compromise the company's operations or assets. The company awaits approval from China's intellectual property authority for these moves, it noted at the time. Neither Kelly nor Wahaha representatives provided comments on repeated inquiries regarding this story. The Hong Kong legal proceedings offer a rare glimpse into the intrafamily discord within the closely held Wahaha Group, which reported approximately 70 billion yuan, $12.5 billion Singapore dollars, in revenue last year, according to local media reports. The 3 plaintiffs, Jackie, Jessie, and Jerry Zong, initiated the lawsuit in December against Kelly and Zhien Ventures, a British Virgin Islands entity managing an HSBC Holdings bank account in Hong Kong. Their suit aimed to uncover the assets held in the account and prevent Kelly from transferring them. Just 1 month prior to Qinghou's passing in February last year, he issued a handwritten instruction to one of his subordinates, instructing them to prepare to go to Hong Kong. Established trusts at HSBC, $700 million each, as recounted by the plaintiff's attorney in court on July 11. Upon discovering that the account contained roughly $1.8 billion, the elder Zong reportedly remarked, "If the USD is insufficient, convert yuan," and directed the subordinate to set up the 2 for Jackie and Jessie initially. According to the plaintiff's lawyer, Kelly consented on February 2 last year to honor her father's directive to create the trusts, funded by money from Zhien, which listed Qinghou as the sole director. However, the establishment of the 3 trusts remains at a standstill, with no definitive agreement reached. Kelly's legal representative contended that their handwritten instructions were not directed at her and questioned the source of funds to cover a $300 million shortfall. "We agreed to set up the trusts from the outset, but only under the condition that the trust assets would be clearly delineated," Kelly's lawyer stated. The Hong Kong High Court is scheduled to deliver its ruling on August 1, as indicated on its official website. The delayed establishment of the trusts has led the three half-siblings to initiate a similar lawsuit in Hangzhou. Dauman observes that in family businesses, conflicts can be intense due to the significant financial stakes involved and the emotional investment, making them both financially and emotionally charged. Billionaire heiress battle: China's communist tycoon's kids fight for fortune. The heirs of China's first communist billionaire are locked in a bitter fortune fight. Imagine a self-made tycoon who began life in poverty, learned resilience in Mao's China, founded one of the nation's most famous beverage giants, and then left behind a family feud of staggering proportions. That's exactly what's unfolding now, as the children of the late Zong Qinghou square off in court over who gets control of Wahaha's vast empire. But here's where it gets controversial. The man who once topped China's rich lists left no clear will, and three previously unknown offspring are challenging his anointed heir. After Mao Zedong's death, China's economic reforms opened the gates to rapid growth and the birth of private entrepreneurs. Zong Qinghou was among the first to seize that opportunity. Punished as a sent-down youth in the Cultural Revolution, he was forced from school into rural labor, but he framed that hardship as an education in Marxist theory and practical grit. When the political winds shifted, he returned to Hangzhou, took a job as a school caretaker and then, with local officials' blessing, began selling milk to students. That modest venture evolved into Wahaha, now a household name in Chinese soft drinks. Wahaha's success story accelerated in the 1990s through a joint venture with France's Danone, the company famous for Evian. Zong's team built factories, distribution networks and marketing infrastructure, only for Danone to later accuse them of secretly funding parallel supply chains that directly competed with the partnership. The French giant eventually walked away. Meanwhile, Zong faced tax evasion allegations, which he settled with hefty back payments. By the early 2010s, however, Wahaha dominated the market and Zong Qinghou was crowned China's richest man. But while the public saw a loyal family succession plan, American-educated Kelly Zong, his only acknowledged daughter, rising through Wahaha's ranks, inside whispers told a different story. Legal filings recently unearthed by China's financial press reveal that Zong quietly fathered three more children, Jackie, Jessie and Jerry, with other women, including at least one Wahaha employee. Two of these siblings now hold senior roles at the company, and their mother owns stakes in key subsidiaries. All three allege their father promised each of them $700 million from his personal fortune. Today, Kelly Zong, 43, expected to inherit the business her father groomed her to run. Instead, she finds herself defending her position in both Hangzhou and Hong Kong courts, where her half-siblings are seeking to freeze a family bank account holding roughly $1.8 billion. This legal battle is raising uncomfortable questions about the private lives of China's business elite, especially in a society once governed by the one-child policy, and about the patriarchal traditions that often leave women and unacknowledged offspring on the margins. To put it in Western terms, imagine if a local council owned half of Unilever, employees held another quarter, yet a single family wielded ultimate control, and then the heirs began suing one another. That kind of tangled ownership structure is exactly what happened in Hangzhou's sub-district government, which still owns the biggest stake in Wahaha, with an employee trust holding the rest. This inheritance dispute shines a spotlight on the broader challenge facing China's first generation of post-reform entrepreneurs: how to pass the torch in a world that combines state influence, family loyalty and modern corporate governance. And it raises a thorny counterpoint: when personal lives clash with public expectations, who truly deserves to inherit power and wealth? Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Kelly Zong is the rightful successor, or should Jackie, Jessie and Jerry get their share? Is this simply a family squabble, or does it reveal deeper flaws in China's business and legal systems? Share your thoughts below, let the debate begin. Wahaha succession battle explained: fire Kelly Zong, half-siblings and a $2.1 billion trust dispute. A brewing dynasty stands on the edge of chaos as a high-stakes succession battle rocks one of China's most iconic private companies. It's hard to believe that Kelly Zong, long celebrated as the handpicked heir to her father Zong Qinghou's Wahaha beverage empire, now finds herself embroiled in not one but two major legal storms that could reshape the future of Wahaha. On one side, three individuals asserting they are Zong's half-siblings have filed suit in a Hong Kong court, demanding that Kelly help establish three separate trusts valued at a total of $2.1 billion. They cite what they say were their late father's own handwritten instructions from January 2023, open three trusts of $700 million each at HSBC Hong Kong, with a clear note that, if the USD is not enough, convert yuan. But here's where it gets controversial. While Kelly's legal team confirms she agreed in principle to a trust structure, she insists that the precise assets and terms must be fully defined before any money changes hands. This nuance has fueled intense discussion across Chinese social media, where people debate the fairness of secret family agreements and the legal weight of a patriarch's personal notes. And this is the part most people miss: inheritance disputes of this magnitude are almost uncharted territory under China's evolving inheritance laws. For anyone new to the concept, a trust is essentially a legal arrangement in which assets are managed by one party, the trustee, for the benefit of another, the beneficiary. When billions are on the line, every clause matters, and so does the court's interpretation of those scribbled instructions. On the other side of the ring, a group of former Wahaha employees has launched a separate lawsuit aiming to revoke a 2018 share buyback. They argue the price paid for the shares was unfairly low, potentially depriving employees and minority shareholders of their rightful value. Wahaha's labor union publicly defended the transaction, noting it was approved by employee representatives and met all legal requirements. Yet this dispute highlights another burning question: when founders repurchase shares, who truly benefits? Beyond family drama, these cases put the spotlight on Wahaha's ownership structure: 46% controlled by a state-owned firm, 29.4% held by Kelly, and 24.6% under the company's union. With Kelly aiming to take Wahaha public, any hint of instability could derail those plans and unsettle investors. Should half-siblings have equal footing in their father's empire, even if they were born to different mothers? Was the 2018 buyback fair to all stakeholders? Could private Chinese businesses weather such a public feud without government intervention? We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts below and join the debate.